You know, I think I'm starting to understand when people are like, yo, the rich are kind of psycho. I'm starting to understand that, especially drinking blood and holding people captive. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope you guys are having a great day. Today we're going to talk about the 1973 film Pets, not the animated one. That would be hilarious. You're like, yo, mom, what is this? This is a very interesting movie, and I saw this on Tubi. I was like, what is this? For one, the movie poster kind of got me intrigued, and then I read like a little bit of description. It's like this guy holds this woman like hostage as like a pet, and I actually thought this movie was gonna be like a whole different pace. It's so bizarre. So this opens up where the main character, her name is Bonnie, and Bonnie is a very like independent girl that kind of just does whatever she wants, but like she's in this car with her brother, and her brother like beats her and stuff, and she's a runaway. In this movie, she starts off telling her brother, she's like, I'm hungry, so he takes her to like this restaurant, like diner place, and then she just dips out, and her brother chases her, and then he gets jumped, and then Bonnie takes his car and just drives off. That's how the movie starts, and I'm like so confused. I'm sorry, she doesn't take his car, but she just runs away. I was so confused immediately. I'm like, okay, we're gonna let this movie cook. And then Bonnie starts like walking around the next day, and she's like going through someone's backyard drinking out of their hose and stuff, which I mean nowadays apparently you're not allowed to do. It's unhealthy. Whatever. I did it. Look at me, I'm great. But Bonnie's doing it, and there's this random woman that like follows Bonnie, and I was like, what is going on? So then I thought, because the description tells you like there's like people who like snatch up women and like put them in cages and treats them like animals. So I was like, oh, so it's gonna be like a giant zoo. Or I thought about one movie, it's like The Great Hunt or something, where this guy like loves to hunt, and he captures people and like hunts them on an island. I don't know, I'm talking about some really weird things, but that's what I thought was gonna happen. Like this woman's gonna lure Bonnie, but she like talks to Bonnie, and her and Bonnie are like walking around, and they meet this random dude who went for a run because the guy had his car, like his convertible down, and he has like a dog, so they're like petting the dog and stuff. And the guy's like, do you guys want to go for a ride? And Bonnie and this girl are like, yeah. So they go for this ride. Mind you, Bonnie just met this woman and this guy, so they're going for like a ride. This movie is very sexual in some ways because it was the 70s, and it was like sexploitation was like definitely a thing. So I thought, I was immediately like, oh boy, what is this movie? So then a little bit of me was like, oh man, this girl and this guy are working together to capture Bonnie. Because it was like, it was almost too convenient how easy all this was going. And Bonnie's like super carefree. Like she's the definition of like hippie life. She was just so carefree through this whole movie. Like legit through this whole movie, Bonnie was just kind of go with the flow of things, except for one moment in this whole movie. That's how it just felt like to me. I was so lost. The lady then pulls out a gun and points at the guy and told him to pull over. So then she takes the guy with Bonnie, and they go. Bonnie had just no idea what's going on, but she immediately is like, I'm just gonna work with this girl. Mind you, they just met maybe like an hour before. So they tie the guy up. The girl goes back with the dog and robs him. Bonnie's like randomly talking to this guy, and it's getting a little heated. I was like, what is going on? Like Bonnie actually like sprays him with the gun because it's like a fake gun. We're going back and forth through this, and then the girl goes to the house, robs him, takes a couple $100, and then on her way back she has the dog because the dog bit her, and she goes to the cliff and just yeets the dog off the cliff. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm so confused through this whole movie. What is going on? Because everything I thought was happening in this movie, expectations, everything I thought, out the window, gone. So I saw that and was like, what am I watching? I was so confused throughout this whole thing. The girl comes back, like she gets mad at Bonnie for revealing it was a fake gun, and then the guy gets upset because like clearly this woman kills his dog, like he yeets the dog. Her and Bonnie leave, and the guy's like calling for help and everything because he's like, I'm tied up out here. This sounds like such a deranged movie. I have no idea what I'm talking about, honestly. When I was watching the movie, I have no idea what I was watching. So after that, the guy is like calling for help, and then Bonnie appears out of nowhere and was like, you promised he wouldn't call for help. You promised. Okay. And the girl told Bonnie to go back and check on him, and then she just left Bonnie there. It was so bizarre. And then this is where things get even more weird, because then it gets like kind of sexual, and Bonnie is like talking to the guy, and the guy's like, if my hands weren't tied up, I'd be doing things too. And I'm like, what did he say? What is going on? So then Bonnie and this guy just start banging after they get done done banging, Bonnie just leaves the guy tied up, pants down, and she just leaves him. She just dips out and bolts it, and the guy is like calling to have Bonnie help him, but she just leaves. That is like the first like 20 minutes of this movie. I have no idea. I sat there, I'm like, what did I just watch? What is going on? I just I was so confused. I'm sure someone might comment down below and actually explain to me why this is all happening. But it really is just so bizarre of what I just watched. I literally was like, what am I watching? So then Bonnie meets this one artist. This is where things I actually start picking up. This bizarre actions. So Bonnie runs into a painter, and the painter pays for like her apple or whatever. The painter wants to draw and paint Bonnie. She wants to use Bonnie as a model, which makes sense because the actress who plays Bonnie is a very pretty woman. So it's like, yeah, it would be really good. So then what happens throughout this little segment is the artist falls in love with Bonnie, and then it kind of becomes like a lesbian couple.
Yeah, boy.
A lesbian relationship in this, because the woman clearly does love Bonnie, but Bonnie is like not really into her. And to me, I was looking at like, Bonnie is like low-key just kind of trying to take advantage of this woman for like a roof over her head and food, nothing else. And you can definitely tell that this woman's trying to like keep Bonnie hostage in his home and trying to like manipulate her to never leave, because she's, like I said, she's in love with Bonnie, so she doesn't want Bonnie to leave because, well, she's gained money from her, which is good, and two, she's in love with Bonnie. But Bonnie has told her plenty of times, she's like, I want a man, I want a man. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. But throughout this whole thing, the first time that Bonnie has an art picture that is up that's getting sold is you meet this art collector. Now I'm like, something's gonna happen with this guy. And the guy like shows up randomly at the house one time, and he like walks in even though the door's unlocked. He just walks in and starts talking to him, and he sees like random like art pieces that are slowly getting done of Bonnie, and he's like, I want to buy this when it's done. This random guy breaks into the house a couple like weeks later. He breaks into the house because he's hungry and he's trying to steal food, but Bonnie's like super turned on by him because she literally like the day before she's like, I want to be with a man, to this woman. Then this guy shows up and the woman's like, I'm gonna kill him because he's broken in the house. She has like a gun and everything, and Bonnie's like, I'll lead him out. So she sneaks him into the room, and this is where Bonnie's like comes on and starts banging him. Then the next day, this woman finds out that the guy's not there, like he was there the whole time. The more I keep talking about this movie, I'm just so lost, because like even now I still have no idea what this movie, like what is the point at all. Like none of it makes any sense, and a lot of people on Letterboxd are like, this is such a great movie. I'm like, great movie. Now, I will say, towards the end, it actually does become pretty good. That I was like, oh, wow, my rating actually went up. The girl, Bonnie's, I guess, lover, gets shot by Bonnie's, like, other lover, and Bonnie gets really upset that the woman kills this man who Bonnie met, like, 8 hours ago, bangs him, and then she's like, we'll just, like, escape together. And then Bonnie runs away, completely runs away. And I was like, okay, what am I watching? What is going on? And then I checked, and there was, like, a half hour left. I'm like, okay. This is weird. And Bonnie's like walk around town, and she sees the art dealer's like store. So she goes there and talks to him and tells him what happens. This is when he takes Bonnie out, and he's like buying her all kinds of crap. And to me, it's like he's buying Bonnie's love to like take advantage of her and like do things with her. That was kind of like my idea. That's like my vibe. And it's almost kind of accurate. And he takes Bonnie to the house, and there's a dog there, and he takes Bonnie to this basement with this cat named Lila, because he has to show Bonnie where to take the cat. And it cuts right back to this woman, the lover. Her lover like runs into the man, the art dealer, and they start talking, and she's trying to find out where Bonnie is, and he tells her, he's like, Bonnie's actually at my crib. So that night she goes there, and the art dealer, his name is Vincent, and Vincent actually tells her that everyone in his house is female besides him. He's the only man. And I was like, this is kind of weird. This is where I was like, oh, so Bonnie's in the basement. And I was like, oh, so she's gonna save her. That's all I was thinking. I was actually like, the more I thought about it, I'm like, oh, is this like a movie about like the second wave feminism? Now my thought was for this was actually growing more and more the more I kept watching this, because then he shows Bonnie, and the girl's like, oh, thank God Bonnie's there, you know, and they talk, and Bonnie's just like, yeah, I'm perfectly fine, I've been chilling the whole time. And Bonnie goes back to the basement. The woman gets like locked in her room for a moment, and she was gonna leave, but then Vincent's like, where are you going? Because the girl wants to find Bonnie. clearly because Bonnie's gone. And she's like, where's Bonnie? I need to know if she's safe. And he's like, I'll show you where Bonnie is. So then he takes her downstairs into the basement. In the basement, it's like cages full of like random animals. And mind you, he said he's the only man of this house. All the rest of them, all female animals. Like there's tigers and wolves and birds and mice, all that crap. It's all female animals. And then at the very end, you have Bonnie just chilling in a cage. That's it. And Bonnie's like, looks like she's very content with it. And the man goes on a huge spiel about all this. He talks about how women are below men, and he basically has just a bunch of mommy issues, like a huge thing of trauma. And he got like dumped by a woman, and he just hates women. And he thinks women are always below men. And that's when I was like, oh my gosh, this is about feminism. That's immediately what I thought. And then probably like 5 minutes after that, I realized I was completely wrong, and I still don't understand the plot of this movie. I still don't understand this movie at all. What happens is this woman talks to Bonnie, and Bonnie like explains to her about like, oh, he had to train me. And which means like she was getting beaten. Like the guy like whipped Bonnie, no joke, into shape, into like obeying him. And he went upstairs to grab it to train this woman. His idea was to train women. It sounds so messed up for me saying out loud, but like he wanted to like beat women into submission to actually obey him. And I was like, what? So then he comes back and he starts like, he opens up the gate door and he's like trying to like whip her into the gate, and Bonnie like slips out for it. He is slowly like, he has that other chick in there, and Vincent's about to be in there. And Vincent actually says a really good line that I really like. But what happens is Vincent was, when he puts the woman into the cage, Bonnie like shoves him in there, and she closes the gate and locks him in there. And the funny thing is, Bonnie was faking it the whole time. She gaslit this man. She got like beaten, and she gaslit him and trapped him in there with this other woman. I was so confused on that. I was like, okay, so this is not about feminism, I guess. Which I thought it was. I legit thought, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is about feminism. This makes so much sense. No, I still don't know what this movie is about. It's just Bonnie just doing her own thing. I guess it's about just independence. Because then what happens? They're both like, Bonnie, save us, let us out. And Bonnie's like, nah. And she just like starts opening up all the gates for all these animals. She goes upstairs, takes a bunch of like coats, gets in the car, and leaves. And then she picks up a random hitchhiker, and that is the film. I'm like, what did I just watch? I was so confused on what I watched. But that ending kind of made me like the movie more. Like the movie was sitting at like a solid 2 for me, but because of how I like the ending, it actually bumped up to a 3. Now, is this a movie I would recommend people to watch? No, because I have no idea what I just watched. Now, if people want to watch it, it's on Tubi, so you're checking it out on Tubi. But it was just so bizarre in just so many ways that I was like, I'm still like, what did I watch? Explain this movie to you guys. I still have no idea what I watched. It's just about a hitchhiker. Like Bonnie's just a hitchhiker. It's just about her having like a really bizarre couple weeks, and that was it. That is the movie. I have no other way to explain it besides that. Was it a fun movie? Some elements, I guess. Was it like a terrifying movie? Not really. It was definitely a sleazy movie, which is the truth, but other than that, I guess it was a movie. That's the best way to explain it. If you guys made it to the end of the video, I do appreciate it. Have you seen the 1973 film Pets, or have you not? I would love to know down below. If you have, let me know down below, because I need to know other people who need to watch, who have seen this movie. I need to talk to other people because it was just so bizarre. And maybe you can explain what the movie is like truly about, because even when I was reading like the description about it, it's just like Brian's just a hitchhiker. Like I said, she is the definition of just like go with the flow of things. That's like how I felt like this whole movie is. She's just like, yep, this is gonna happen, and she just went with it. It was just such a bizarre effect of a movie that I'm like, interesting. It was just so different. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a rewatch and maybe I'll like it more. I have no idea. It was just such a weird movie. But in general, I'd love to know what your opinions are. I guess give me some other recommendations of other weird movies. Maybe I'll like them. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch them. Who knows? Of course, make sure you guys stay safe and avoid strangers.